Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chop and Chat, a podcast by the Rock and Roll Barbershop. I'm Kotoy, and I'm going to be your host for this episode. And with me tonight, I'm going to have a very dear client of mine, a very nice guy, very smart guy, Haris. You can come and take center stage. Nice to see you, man.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Take a seat. All right, man. So before we start, what do you want me to do?
You can cut like a centimeter from the top,
All right.
and then from the sides like the usual fade, but this time just a little bit like closer to the skin.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, you gotta present yourself because I know you, but like nobody else knows you.
Of course.
All right.
I'm Haris. I'm 26 years old. I study medicine here in Sofia, and originally I'm from Greece, from beautiful Crete.
All right. That's what I wanted you to say because like, yeah, that's like, yeah, it's Greece, but like you're an island boy.
Look, if you live there like for a prolonged amount of time, it doesn't feel like an island because there are many things to do, and especially like, okay, in the summer you can go to the beach, you can visit various places, but in the winter there are still a lot of stuff to do. If you compare it with other islands, it's not that busy, let's say. There's not so much
I mean, it's
stuff
not a
that you
party
can-
island.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, I get it. If you're there, it's an island, it's a big island, but if you live there, it's different. It feels different.
Okay.
Still in the summer, like, because I'm like here in Sofia, in a city where there is no water or sea, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel that I grew up in an island because I want to be close to the sea. I want to be like every day or every time I have like free time, I want to go to the sea, but it's impossible. So in a way, yeah, you have that island vibe inside of you, even if you
Alright.
live there.
See, that sounds like a fucking Disney story, man.
Yeah, you can. If you live there, it's not like a Disney story.
Yeah. But like, how you like presenting it? But listen, like, cause like I guess most places are like that, no matter how you see them from the outside or from not being a local. But like, see, like how you present it, and like you know you can take the man off the island, but you can't take the island out of the man, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Because like when I look into the future, yeah, now I'm in Sofia like for 1 year more, let's say.
Okay.
And if I look to the future, I would for sure want to live somewhere, if not in Greece or in Crete, somewhere where there is like sea nearby. So
Yeah.
for me, like sea is something like I can totally like switch off when I'm like close to the sea or on the beach. It's my thing. It's the way that I totally relax. Here
Absolutely.
I only have like the gym, but that's it. So yeah, I guess you're right.
I learned that it's famous for this. I think it's the eastern part of the island, if I'm not mistaken, where there's this. I think they advertise it as being like the only like palm tree forest beach like in Europe.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think there's another place like that, right? So it's on the eastern part of the island.
if I recall correctly, yes, because the last time I've been there, it might have been like 20 years ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I have photos, but
See you unappreciative fucking like what the fuck?
yeah, it's called VAI.
Yes.
VAI.
VAI. All right.
And it's from what I remember, because I remember like a couple of stuff. It's beautiful there, and a lot of palm trees, and it's like you said, it's unique. It's very unique, and Crete has many unique places and beaches.
Nice. Is it an expensive place? Like as a destination, like as a touristic destination?
No. Don't get me wrong. There are places that are more expensive than other places in Crete, but in general, if you compare it with like other popular destinations in Greece, for example, Chalkidiki, that's in the northern part of Greece.
That's where I always go, man. I'm a classic Balkan dude enjoying his like 1 week vacation per year. I go to Halkidiki, man. Okay.
Yeah, man,
But
Chalkidiki,
compared to that,
it's cheaper for sure. Like,
are you serious?
for sure.
God damn it! I don't want to curse.
I don't know
right now, but like
comparatively to other places that I visited, like in Greece.
okay, like you as a Greek person.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like cheaper, and you can do you can eat like good food without spending too much.
All right.
You can visit like very nice beaches like without even paying that much. I mean,
Like for like consuming.
yeah. Even the set, you know, the beach beds, they don't cost that much.
Okay.
Most of the places you visit. Okay, in some touristy places, you may have to pay for the beds, but in other places, and those are many, you can just like, I don't know, pay for your coffee or for what you're gonna
And you just
eat,
sit
and
on
you just-
that expense.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. It's not that I'm from Crete and I'm trying to advertise.
Yeah, you're just trying to like bring Bulgarian money on your island.
I don't have like any tourist accommodation there or a hotel or anything. I'm just trying to.
Okay, no advertising purposes
No.
whatsoever.
I'm just being honest.
All right. You have, because like you said, you said, I already know, that you study medicine here.
Yeah.
First, do you have like doctors in your family or anybody that practices any sort of medicine? Like, yeah.
Yeah, my father is a doctor.
What type of doctor is he?
He's a family doctor.
Okay, so like a
General practitioner.
General, yeah, GP.
Yeah.
All right. Is he still practicing?
Of course.
Oh,
He's still relatively young for a doctor, or at least a Greek doctor.
What does that mean?
He's like 50, let me think, 56 years old.
Okay, so if you're not sure, I'm gonna apologize to his Greek family for him that he doesn't. But like that's normal, man. Like I'm bad with that stuff too.
No, I remember every time his birthday, but
But yeah, the math. I mean, you're supposed to be a doctor. You don't need math, man.
Oh, trust me, you do.
I bet you do. I bet.
But for a Greek doctor, I mean, he's gonna work for at least like 10 years more. I think so. Yeah.
I think they're like even older doctors than 60s, man. Are they? Are you allowed? Listen, okay. Another question.
Mm-hmm.
Till what age are you like legally allowed to practice?
I'm not sure of that actually. It's for Greece. A few years ago I checked. It was like until 69 years old. You could retire. But what's the ceiling of that? If you want to continue working, I'm not sure. I mean, if you are still capable to do that.
Okay, obviously, if you're still capable, you're gonna try to do it. What I'm asking is there like, from a law or medical,
Yeah, I'm not sure of that actually. I'm not sure of that. I'm not planning.
Okay, we can like, I'm gonna Google that when I edit the video and I'm gonna add it. They're like, yeah, like why? That's information. Like I'm gonna find out. You're gonna find out like anyway for sure, like before me.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have an assistant right now to do that for me, so I'm gonna do it in post production.
But I don't know if you could like go further than that. If you actually would want to do it, I don't know. Why would you want to do it? I mean,
if you're already filthy rich, like why would you want to?
At that age, I think, like everything else, like natural progression has to take place, and you have to give your place depending on where you work or what you do to a newer doctor. And also, the most important thing, being a doctor, you have to study for that long years, and you have to work long hours, and you kind of don't pay so much attention to more important stuff that matter to you. For example, family, friends, And retiring, I think it's a good.
Yeah, to get back to that.
Yeah, exactly. You understand?
Yes, true.
No, I think you have to understand, like, when the time comes, that you have to move on to something else. I get it, because being a doctor, like, it's for some people it's a calling and it's a way of life. It's not just a thing that you do.
It's a calling for sure, man.
Yeah, and I think even if you decide to retire at a certain age, or you are able to retire at a certain age, that being a doctor isn't going nowhere. It's gonna still be in you, and you are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but speaking like from personal experience, the vast majority of older doctors I have met were very kind and very willing to give knowledge to me and to my colleagues. So I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you get to that age, so many years of experience, it's hard to leave that kind of stuff and move on to, I don't know, retirement. Because by
it's who you are, man. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of let go of a part of you.
For sure, and for me, it doesn't matter what you do. It's difficult to retire, because like for a certain amount of time, like decades, you've been doing one thing mostly for most people.
Yes.
And it's difficult to change that. Change is difficult.
Why did you choose like Bulgaria for the studies?
There isn't a specific reason, but when I was looking for where to study,
Okay.
I've heard that there were like many Greeks here in Sofia studying in the medical university.
You heard well.
Yeah. And whoever said that were many Greeks, it was an understatement.
There's like a shit ton.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're neighbors, man. To me, like, I like that. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really easy, like, to travel back, or to, especially if you're like from the north part of Greece, it's really easy to travel.
Close.
Yeah,
yes.
it's really close.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons.
Okay.
To be honest, it was like, if I have to like really think about it, because I have never thought about it actually, it was maybe the major reason that I decided like to come to Bulgaria. Because I studied in the past and not in Greece.
Okay.
And,
I'm gonna ask you about
yeah,
that.
we're gonna delve
That's
deeper.
an interesting subject to me, man.
And I really, it felt lonely, let's say. I didn't relate to many people there. So being here, it doesn't feel like I'm out of my homeland. So I think it's comfort. If I have to describe it, I know it's not home, but I feel like more or less comfortable here.
Yes. I like Bulgaria, man.
Yeah,
it's a nice place to be.
It's nice.
A nice place to be.
It's really nice.
How big are the differences in the educational system between Greece and Bulgaria?
Actually, I studied for a brief second in Greece.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some kind of exams you have to take, and depending on how well you do, your mark is going to determine where you're going to go. But
Okay.
it's not like, let's say I want to go to, I don't know, the medical university, so I'm guaranteed to go there. There are a lot of stuff to interfere with that. So I'm not going to dive into that.
Okay,
But let's say at that point of my life, I wasn't sure, because I was like 17 to 18.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what I want to do, so I didn't pay a lot of attention. I mean, I studied, but I didn't study. If I have to look back and criticize myself, I was being like, I did the bare minimum, let's say.
Really?
Yeah, and I ended up.
I mean, see, that's why I say you're smart. Like to do the bare minimum and still like be able to become like you're not yet a doctor. I don't want to jinx that you will be, and I personally because again, we know each other for a while, and I have a very like strong opinion about you as a man, like from man to man, and also like you know from an intellectual point of view. So you doing like the bare minimum and still like coming where you are right now and having also like the other experience that you had through your life,
I think
that's a win.
I think because right now I'm definitely not doing the bare minimum, but
I know.
I think I think that doing the bare minimum back then helped me understand and go through the path that brought me here and made me realize some stuff. So because many people ask me about that, wow, do you wish that back then you would be more wise or more hardworking? I say no, because I am right now, and I don't know, I'm happy with where I am right now and how life treated me up to now.
Absolutely. So if you're happy with the outcome, why would you regret the path
Exactly.
to the outcome?
Exactly. So, and I never shy away from new experiences and new mistakes. I'm open to learn. So I think that was the thing that ultimately led me here, studying medicine. But yeah, back then I wasn't that way, let's say. So I ended up studying mathematics in a Greek islands. It's called Samos. It's near the border with Turkey.
Okay.
So in the east side of Greece. And I was there like for 7 to 8 months, if I have to, 7 to 8 months.
And you dropped out?
I dropped out. I went like to every lesson everywhere. I was taking my exams, but after a certain point, like the last 2 months, I didn't go to the university at all. So I kind of, let's say, gave up, but I was stuck there. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say to my father, how to explain to him that I don't like it here.
Yeah, especially at that young age.
Yeah.
It's hard to just be completely honest with yourself and with your parents.
Exactly.
Generally.
And the problem was not only that, I didn't have like, okay, I knew I didn't like it there, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Which is also very confusing.
It was. So I was, until like 2018, I was taking like blind leaps of faith and hoping I would stumble into something that I would like.
Yes, that's my shit.
Yeah.
You're doing hospital hours, right?
Yeah.
How is that here? First of all, in what hospital are you like?
We will go everywhere.
Okay.
Depending on what type of subject we have.
Okay.
Because like from the 4th year, we change topics like every 3 weeks or a month. We take an exam and then move on to the next, let's say, subject.
I think that's too fast to learn.
It is. It is.
Damn it, man, it's so hard.
Yeah, and I thought it would be better because like for the first 3 years, we had like exams every January, February, and then again June, July. But in that...
Acceptable.
Yeah, but I thought, and back then I thought, oh yeah, I would prefer if I had to, like 3 weeks to focus on one lesson and then move on to the other.
Yes.
But the amount of stuff that you have to know...
That's the thing. I feel it's just so much amount of material.
With some like lessons, I would like to have like 1 or 2 weeks more. Because also I was interested in them and I would like to delve deeper into some subjects. But
yeah, it kind of takes away even the pleasure of being like scientifically inclined, right?
Exactly. It's hard, and most of the times I was just like, okay, I have to study this and I have to invest a certain amount of time, not less, not more, and then move on to the next topic and the next topic.
Fuck that.
Because
man.
I had an exam like in, let's say 2 weeks. So the first and foremost is to pass the exam. So, yeah. I know that a lot of stuff you're gonna like revise later in your specialty.
I mean,
But
yeah,
still.
yeah, that's the thing. Well, did you choose your specialty?
Not yet. I'm
You have like a short list at least?
a very brief one. Of course, I would love to be a family doctor like my father is, but because being a family doctor, the spectrum of stuff you have to deal with and patients you have to deal
Is
with.
wider.
Yeah, it's really wide, and you
Yes.
have basically to you can deal with everything, let's say.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a sustainable way of life for me.
From what point of view?
I see my father right now at 50, 56, 57, I don't know.
Yeah, stop saying that.
And he's like, most of the times he's like exhausted. And
Aren't we all, man?
yeah, yeah. And I would like to do something that would offer more to me for the time I spend in the hospital or everywhere else. So I was thinking about surgery. I know it's also time consuming, it's difficult.
General surgery?
Depending on what you do, doesn't matter.
You have to.
You
do
have
it.
to
Yes.
do 4 years of general surgery, but I don't know if
Such a long path, man.
it is. But if you want to become like a surgeon, yeah, you have to like at least 4 years. And I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be a general surgeon. I was thinking about thoracic surgery, so that entails.
Wait, what is that?
Thoracic. So the
Okay.
thorax,
Yeah.
it's everything that entails like blood vessels in the thorax, the heart, the lungs, the trachea, esophagus, everything
So,
else that is
Mid.
yeah,
section.
on the upper portion of the body, of the
Thank
torso.
you. Thank you very much.
That's not a scientific.
No, but you made it sound very scientific.
So it's difficult because you have to take into account many factors in order to choose. I think it's the most difficult choice you have to make during or after your the university.
Like your specialty.
Yeah.
All right, man. Big step. Big
Yeah, it
step.
is. It is. Not looking forward to it.
Not, huh?
No, because I'm really anxious about it. Making like the right choice.
I mean, what separates boy from a man?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you said that before you studied in Bulgaria, you studied in the Netherlands.
Right.
Where exactly and what did you study there?
I studied in Amsterdam. I studied physics.
Yeah, buddy. In Amsterdam,
Yeah,
studying physics. That's amazing. Like, how?
I mean, like I told before, my mother lives there for like good 10 years now.
Okay.
She's originally from there. Not from Amsterdam, but from the Netherlands.
Okay.
So when I was like
So
studying
you are
that,
half Dutch.
I'm half Dutch. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Like before I went to the Netherlands, I didn't speak like I understood some Dutch, but I never like properly spoke it.
Okay.
Like I spoke it, my mother tells me like I spoke it when I was 3 and I spoke it like fluently. But after that, I just didn't use it anymore. Like after starting like school in Greece, I never used it anymore. Like
I mean, yeah,
yeah, she talked to me like in Dutch, but I responded always in Greek. So that was that.
yeah.
So when I went there, I had to learn Dutch,
Like relearn it.
like properly learn it, because I understood, like I said, I spoke a few like words, but I couldn't like properly write or read.
I find Dutch hard
It is.
because it doesn't sound like.
It doesn't sound like a language first. It's like
Oh my god! All right.
it's like a real difficult language. It has like influence from German, from Scandinavic languages, some French as well. So it's really a mix of
English, I guess, a little bit
English.
also?
Yeah, that's right. So the grammar is really difficult.
God damn,
learn.
the Dutch.
Yeah, it was like very difficult. Like 6 months, I had like some I don't know how you call them. Like I had every day from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I had like constant lessons.
Like language.
Language lessons, yeah.
What?
Every day, like for a good few months.
But I think that's the proper way to do it, man.
And I was lucky because I was living there, because you cannot do that like if you live in like, for example, in Greece. It's not that easy because you don't encounter Dutch
Yeah.
in everything you do, in whatever
Yes.
you do. So being there, having like lessons every day was really helpful. And it was tough, but it was needed because like the university I chose was in Dutch. So I had to,
Wow, man, what the?
yeah, so I had to learn Dutch for it. And
So you went to learn to be able to learn.
exactly, exactly. So, and I know also people that come here in Bulgaria and do that. It's really difficult, and I applaud them for that, because I find, okay, now that I know Dutch, it's easy to say that Bulgarian is more difficult because I don't know that well the Bulgarian language. Although I use it,
It's difficult.
it's difficult. But
Not that I'm a perfect speaker, but that's why I say it's difficult.
yeah, it's really difficult. So I was able to have like conversations about anything, like we do have now, for example, like politics, everyday stuff, blah blah blah.
Okay.
But like being in the university and using it like for scientific purposes, it's a whole nother thing. So that took getting used to as well. So,
What type of physics you studied?
it was a joint degree, so it was physics and
Okay.
astrophysics. And
Why? Okay, what took you?
why I decided
Why you decided to study? Because like, the question is like, it's a double question. How come did you decide to study physics and astrophysics and then ditch it? Did you finish it?
I ditched it.
You ditched it.
The-
How many years into it?
It was 3 years. It was
Listen,
Yeah.
that's not like a little bit. And you liked it.
up to like the second year. Yes, I liked it.
Okay. And then you became a doctor. You decided that you want to pursue becoming a doctor.
Yeah. I didn't decide it. Let's say it was also, like I said before, a leap of faith. I went to the Netherlands. I learned the language. I applied for the physics and astrophysics department. I applied there because I was good at physics at school and I was interested, and it was 3 years, and I was like, okay, 3 years, I'm gonna go there. But I applied also to the medical school in Amsterdam. And funny thing, I got into it, I was accepted,
Okay.
but because I wasn't, I had to take an exam for it, and I just passed it. Like it was like you needed like 60%, so I got like 61, 62%. I was like, and it was also in Dutch. I was like, I'm not gonna make it there. And like looking back, I would say maybe it was a mistake, but I was like scared to go there because I was like, oh, I will have to study like my ass off, and the language is really difficult. And from what I remember, like the entry exam by itself, it was like really difficult stuff that I didn't even know existed. For example, I was like given some material from the university to study,
Like as a preparation
as
for
a
the
preparation, but
admittance.
exactly.
Okay.
But the rest, like there was statement general knowledge from school, let's say from high school.
Okay.
But what they teach there in comparison to what they teach in Greece, it's really different. I'm not saying it's more difficult, but I wasn't aware. I didn't, I wasn't
of those subjects.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. So I went there like, let's say, a little bit handicapped in a way. So I was really like afraid to go there. So that's why I chose physics, because it was also, like I said, 3 years. And
so wait, the whole university was 3 years and you ditched it in the third year?
Yeah, the beginning of the third year.
Brave man.
I think I couldn't have like ditched it later. It was like at the last point, I ditched at the last point because I felt that, first of all, I didn't like it anymore. And I thought it didn't like suit me as a career afterwards. And plus I wasn't like I said before, I didn't feel like home there. I was alone. I felt alone. I talked to my colleagues there, but I didn't like really get to know them, didn't really have like good friends there, because
it matters a lot.
It matters, it does. And I felt like a stranger, like a total stranger, because I didn't have like a common reference point with my colleagues. It was like completely different. I was half Dutch, I spoke Dutch, they did as well, but I couldn't connect with like anyone there. And that's why I said at the beginning,
it's a bit sad. It's a bit sad.
It is. So I found myself like studying all day, being at the university all day, returning home, eating, and then studying for the rest of the day. And even that sometimes wasn't
eating
enough.
Food, I guess, not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I felt that I failed. I completely failed, because of my choices, and that's why.
Did you like torture yourself for it?
I didn't have like enough time because I ditched it, and then I immediately like put my head down and concentrated to what I want to do next. And
all right.
So
all right.
I started like I knew the entry exams here like were about biology, chemistry, and English language. The latter I didn't need to study about, but the first two I did. So I started like I picked up books from high school, and every day I started like long hours.
I really respect you, man.
Yeah. So I was like really motivated to be admitted here and come here, because I felt like I was running out of options, and because I experienced the mathematics university in Greece, I experienced Amsterdam, and I felt like I was running out of options. So I put like my whole self into that.
Yeah.
And again, referring to what I said earlier, I wouldn't have done that at the state of mind I was when I was 18. When I did the bare minimum. So I learned to do more than that. And that's why I say the path that led me here for me, is the correct path.
That's a nice story, man.
Yeah.
That's a nice story.
Yeah. I want to talk about this because I meet people like regularly that are doing something that they don't like, but they feel that they have to do it, or they're scared to stop doing it and choose something else. And I tell them my story every time, and I feel that it's something that needs to be more openly accepted. For example, to be able to say that, okay, that is not for me, let's move to something else. I know some people.
Courage.
Courage to like I said, take a leap of faith.
In your benefit at the end of the day, because you're letting go of something that obviously doesn't make you happy.
Exactly. So, and for that, of course, I have to and I do it. I have to thank my family, because they were there for me to help me through that and to tell me, okay, it's fine.
Family is very important.
Yeah, because I know other people that their family was like a little bit, I don't know, they kind of pressured those people to continue doing something they didn't want to because they felt like, oh, if you like drop out or if you stop working there or if you blah, 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 you failed. But I think in life...
Or you're going to disappoint me or us.
Exactly.
Which is even worse.
Or you're not going to fulfill my dreams for
of you. Yes.
Exactly.
I hope as a generation, and I'm happy you say that because you don't know who's going to watch this, and whoever is watching it, they need to hear this, right? Because your life is your life, right? And at a certain age, you have to just man up, grab your balls if you're a dude, you know, from wherever they are, and just, yeah, go for it. And if it's not that, go for something else. Listen, man. I think this is like a good ending.
Yeah, it's a good point to end. I think it's a good message to end the podcast.
Yeah, it wasn't planned, so I'm happy that, you know, freestyling this, and yeah.
No, since I'm here, I'm glad to talk about it because, you know, I think like failing in some stuff needs to be more accepted because it can lead you.
It's only natural, man.
Yeah, it can lead.
Life is governed by duality, man. There's no such thing as only good or only bad. So we might as well accept it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. I think this is it.
It was a pleasure being here.
It was a pleasure for me, and it's always a pleasure having you. And
thank you very much.
I thank you, man. Have a nice day and have an amazing life, man. All right, this was another episode of our podcast, Chop and Chat by the Rock and Roll Barbershop. We had Harris with us today. I'm Kotoy. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.